I want to thank you all for inviting me to speak this afternoon. I'm sorry during this COVID environment, we have to do it virtually. TechStart has not opened us up to do public meeting yet, so we'll have to do kind of temporary, do everything by virtual. So I got a couple of slides that I want to go through with y'all and talk a little bit about what TechStart is looking at, how our funding stream is.
Did you see your husband pop in for a minute?
Yes, yes. I guess he's trying to help, right?
He wants to see you more, and I can't make you bigger in your slideshow. So let me see what else I can do.
No, that's okay. That's okay. They can see me when I'm done. We can just look at the slideshow right now, and we'll be done. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Sure, I can.
Okay, I want to start out with our mission of TechStart. The TechStart's mission is connecting you with Texas. And so currently TechStart is working in our biggest work program in the history of TechStart. We've never, I've been with TechStart for 32 years, and this is the biggest program dollar-wise that we have had since, I work over here. So we are really, really busy, and we're doing a lot of work. And the purpose of us is to connect you with the rest of the state, with the rest of the people, and with the rest of the country also. So next slide, please. So what I'm going to talk about is safety. What I'm going to talk about, the first thing we want to do a little bit of talk is about safety. As you know, safety is the most important thing that TechStart is looking at on our roadway. And then I will go into a little bit about our UTP, our Uniform Transportation Program, which is our 10-year plan that kind of put a lot of our projects on the list to be progressed in the next 10 years. Then I'll talk a little bit about Houston District, our priority projects, our Brazoria County area office projects, and also a quick overview on our biggest project that we're fixing to do, the 45 North Houston Highway Improvement Project. So next slides, please. So during the COVID environment, what TechStart has done so far, what we have been doing is since the onset of the COVID environment in March, our field and maintenance employees have been working continuously. They never stopped their operation because their operations is ongoing with the contractor and also for the safety of the general public. But our design people, our office people have, since March, we've sent the majority of our office and field people home. And we were gathering all our PPEs and everything to get everybody ready. So currently, right now, I have anywhere between 10 to 25% of the office people still working in my office, in the actual office here. So if the COVID environment free up a little bit better, then we will continue to allow more employees to come into our office in our area. So I want to go over a little bit of the statistic. If you look at the size, there's an estimated about 3,641 people lost their life in the Texas highway system. There's 10 people were killed a day on average. One person was killed every 2 hours, 24 minutes, and one person was injured every 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So these are really alarming statistics, and since November 7, 2000, it is the last deathless day on our Texas roadway. And we're getting pretty close to the anniversary of that November 7 day. So for the last now we're 2020. So for the last 20 years, almost 20 years, we don't have a deathless days in the Texas road. And that's the streak that we're trying to break. We're trying to do it a small step at a time. We want to try and make sure that we can have a day that we don't have any fatality in the state of Texas. So next slide, please. So want to let you know a little bit of what TxDOT is doing and what everybody can do to help us help in the safety. What everybody can do is buckle up when you're out there driving, drive the speed limit. And this is a big problem currently because we have, since the road is not as busy as before, people have been speeding and driving at much higher speed than easily 20, 30 miles higher than the speed limit. So we want to make sure we've put up message on the DMS sign to try and tell people what the speed limit of the roadway is so people are aware of that. Never drive under the influence of drug or alcohol. When you're driving, do not drive disturbed, put your phone away. So those are the things that we want all of you to do, everybody. And we want you to tell your sons and daughters, your relatives, everybody to do that. And so what's TxDOT's trying to do? When we are doing our design, we try and engineer our roadway to be more forgiving. We're trying to make sure that our degree of curve is not so severe. We want to try and make sure that we built in the wide shoulders so that if your vehicle breaks down, there's a place for your vehicle to sit on, okay? And we're putting in rumble stripes along the edge of the roadway and also in the middle, in the median between the two-lane roadway opposite direction, so that to prevent head-on collision. If somebody's driving and they're falling asleep, the rumble stripe is going to wake you up when you when you cross the line. It makes a lot of noise to try and wake you up. We're using wrong way flashing, wrong way sign. We're using other electronic signage to alert the drivers. And we're also doing a lot of driving education program to try and educate the public to try and get everybody to drive safely. So, but we need everybody's help. Together, we can end the streak of not having a fatality on our roadway every day. Next slide, please. We also have another safety campaign. It's our Road to Zero campaign. Commissioner Ryan, our Houston commissioner, she is the champion of all our safety program. What they were trying to do is by the year 2035, they want to reduce our death in the state of Texas by half. And then by the year 2050, we're going to reduce the fatalities on our roadway to zero. So that's the Road to Zero campaign. And what they have actually do is they actually put they put skin in the game. They put actual dollar for us to come up with safety projects that will help with safety. For example, we're putting additional projects, doing some projects at intersections to improve the intersection movement, pedestrian and all that, so that we can help with the pedestrian and bicycle safety. Rumble stripes I talk about is one of the big safety incentive that we're trying to advocate and put out on a lot of our roadways in our region. The other thing we're also trying to do is the wrong way driver. We're trying to put signage and all that to reduce the possibility that a driver is going to go wrong way on one of our roadways. Next two slides, please. So now I want to go into our, we call it the UTP, is our Uniform Transportation Program. And so what is the UTP for TxDOT? What it is our 10-year program, is a 10-year plan that guides and develops the transportation project across the state of Texas. So what we do is we come up with a 10-year projection and plan for different projects that are project ready during these 10 years to put in this we call, our administration call it a funnel. You know, you put all these projects in the 10-year, and as the project progress, which is when you start buying the right of way, you start taking care of the utility, you start doing the environmental, you get the project to the stage that is ready for construction. It kind of work past from the 10-year to the 5-year, and eventually work into the 2-year letting cycle. And once your project is in the 2-year letting cycle, you pretty much guarantee the project it's going to let. You know, it may not let in that 2 years, but it's going to let within the first 2 or 3 years. But the projects that are in the 10-year plan is also not a guarantee that these projects are going to do. It's really just a long-range plan that we're trying to put all the projects in the line, and depends on the scope and depends on the status of each of these projects, how they're going to progress. Some of them can accelerate and move up quickly, and because they are project ready, they don't have as much problem. They have less utility or environmental problem. They don't have right of way that we have to buy. So those kind of projects, we may be able to progress a lot faster than a project that have a lot of utility issues, a lot of environmental issues, and a lot of right of way issues. So next slide, please. So our UTP funding is actually divided into 12 different categories, 12 separate categories, from category 1 all the way to category 12. And currently our program, our 2021 UTP program, the dollar amount, including all our Cat 1 to 12, plus there's also some planning authority and some of the local funds project in the UTP, is totally $74 billion. It's what you see at the bottom line, but $68 billion is actually all the funding based on all the different categories, 1 to 12, on different types of projects. Next slide, please. The most common, the biggest 4 category of projects that we do that is in the UTP is Cat 2, which is a metro and urban corridor type project, Cat 4R and Cat 4U. Cat 4U is for urban district, which Houston is considered as one of the urban districts. Okay, so those are the statewide corridor through the urban areas. Cat 4R is regional, and mainly those are the rural type project, basically connecting the rural communities together. So those are different sources of funding. And Cat 12 is the strategic priority, which is the highway commissioner's strategic priority projects, and also the Texas Clearlink project, which is a program that was that came out from Governor Greg Abbott, that talks about the congestion in all our regions, and the Cat 12 funding, portions of it is dedicated to all the Clearlink project, which is mostly in the metropolitan areas. Next slide, please. So the next slides really just showed a little bit of the percentage of how the money is split between the category 2, 4, and 12. So, and if you look at this picture here, Houston is where we have circled. In the 10-year UTP, in the 2021 UTP, Houston's dollar currently is at $10.8 billion. And we are considered to be one of the metro district, and the metro district actually takes up about 48.2% of the UTP dollars. And when I say metro district, it is Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio. Those are the 5 metro districts. And then we have urban districts and also rural districts. So that's how we kind of separate and split up the funding between all the different districts. So next slide, please. So where can you find all this information about all the projects that is in the UTP? It's currently the 2020 and the 2021 UTP is actually in our TechStop website. If you log on to the TechStop website, there is a link. If you just search for the 2021 UTP, they will split up the entire document. And in the document, they actually have a breakdown of each of the district and also each of the projects that is in the 10-year plan in Houston region. So if you're interested to go in and try and dig deep and look at some of these projects, they are in our website, and it's pretty easily accessible. It's a pretty long document, but you can easily kind of just look for the Houston region and you can find those projects in there. Okay, next slide, please. So all that about the UTP. Now we're going to go and talk a little bit about the Houston district. And I think y'all are very familiar with us. We've been doing a lot of business with your Houston district. It encompasses about 6,000 miles, close to 6,000 miles, and we serve about 6.8 million people. And we got about 5.5 million registered vehicles. So a lot of people are driving. And the current FTE, which is my full-time equivalent, which is essentially my employees, we are at about, well, we're not quite 1,200. We're about 1,147 is our actual number of employees. And the map shows the entire region of the Houston district. So we encompass Brazoria County, where you are at, and we have Galveston County, Fort Bend, Waller, Montgomery, and all of Harris County. So that's the Houston district. And we also run the Bolivar Ferry down south. Next slide, please. I think the next two slides really just trying to give you a feel for how much Houston has grown in the last several years. What this slide is showing that they predicted by the year 2045, the region will be home to about 10.7 million people, as compared to the current number. We're about 4.8, about 5 million people, about 4 million people now, and it will support about $4.8 million jobs. So there's a lot more people. They're predicting a lot more people coming into Houston, and it's the second fastest growing city in the United States, second to New York City. We're going to be, if not already, surpass Chicago to become the second largest city in the country. We will be the second largest city in the country very soon. Next slide, please. And this slide really show the dollar amount and the amount of truck traffic and freight traffic that is going through the Port of Houston in our region. You know, they have nearly about 200 private and public terminals, and they deal with 247 million tons of cargo annually. And there's about 8,200 vessels called, 215,000 barges passing through each year. So these numbers are huge. You know, I can't think of a better word to say that we have a lot of commerce. And I was just listening to the Gulf Coast Forum, which was happening today also. And Roger Gunter, which is the Port of Houston director, and he indicated that even during COVID, we have not have a big drop in the reduction of the services and the commerce that's going through the port. I think he said we may have about 2% of it, but I think that is a very good number as compared to all the other ports and all the other region in the area. So Houston is really faring out really, really good, even under this COVID environment. Next slide, please. So this is showing, but we're not really doing that good with our commercial vehicle crashes. this slide really kind of shows that in Harris County, we have about 15,000 commercial vehicle crashes as compared to the next one up in Dallas is about 10,000 and the Baxter County is about 8,000. So we have a lot of things that we need to do to try and increase our crashes, the number of crashes, and increases the safety in our region. Next slide, please. And this map and the list of the projects is really looking at a lot of the major corridors and priorities that we have in the Houston region. 290, first one, that corridor was very important to us, and we did an extensive construction project, and now is very, very close to finishing. You know, the mingling is finished, except we have some work to be done on Highway 6. So that is a major corridor we have. And in conjunction with 290, Hampstead Highway is also a major corridor. The original concept was we were going to build 290, and then we have Hampstead Highway as the tolling coming through the Hampstead Highway. But because of the current toll environment and also with some of the economy hectare changes, we are still in the process of trying to progress the Hampstead Highway. But we've been working with City of Houston, and we're also working with our planning folks to try and figure out what kind of configuration we need to put out there on Hampstead Highway. So the next corridor that are very important to us is State Highway 99. As you all know, we have been building the entire loop from 59 South all the way to 59 North, 45 North, and now we're building on the east side all the way down to I-10 over there. So that project is in construction, and we're making good progress on that one. But the next piece of the Grand Parkway that we're also looking at is segment B, which is a segment from 45 South to 288. That is, we're kind of splitting that into two segments. The first one from 45 to Alvin, and the second one from Alvin to 288. And we are also talking to Fort Bend County, starting that conversation to look at segment C, which is the last piece that goes from 288 to 59 South. So those are the only two big pieces of the Grand Parkway that is left to be built. And we are working with both the counties and also with our TxDOT, the toll office, to try and progress that project. And it's, you know, your region has gone into the highway commissioner, and Representative Thompson was spearheading that, and Ken Clark in Galveston, and the city of Alvin, and Brazoria County too, Matt Sylvester. You're all champions on trying to push that segment B and keep it in the 10-year UTP that we just talked about. So segment B in the 10-year UTP, and we're working to try and progress that piece of the project. The other big corridor for us is I-45. I-45, the North Houston Highway Improvement Project. That is one of the biggest projects we're currently trying to procure and get done. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. 288 corridor, as you all well know, in the Pearland area, that is the corridor that is going into the medical center that we're getting very close. Is a joint effort. You know, TxDOT do one piece, and then Brazoria County doing the other piece south of the county. And we are getting very close to getting that piece opened up. So we're predicting by the end of the year, we should be pretty close to be able to open up that tollway. 59 South, I still call it 59, even though it's called I-69 now. 59 South, we have a lot of projects in the Fort Bend County and the Harris County and Fort Bend County to widen that corridor. 610 West Loop Interchange. We currently have a project ongoing to rebuild the 610 Mingling and also a lot of the direct connectors over there. We're making good progress, but there is also another project on the 610 West Loop, what we call the Express Lane, that is going to build a couple of lanes that goes from 610 North to 610 South. So that is still in the planning stage, but that is one of the projects that we're looking at. 249 corridor, currently we have projects on 249 all the way up to Grants County. So those are, part of it is a toll portion and part of it is a non-toll portion. So that project is under construction right now, and we have just recently opened segment 1A, which is the small little piece over there in Magnolia, and then we're working on the next piece, segment 1B, that we are predicting is going to open up early next year. So the other project on the list, I-10 West at the Brazos River, from Highway 6 to Brazos River, we also have a lot of widening project. My husband's really want that one done because when he's going to Austin, he's always complaining the traffic is backed up over there in that corridor. So, I mean that we agree with him, not just with him, but with a lot of other people traveling and using that corridors too on the weekend. It's always jam-packed over there by Sealy and from Columbus all the way down to Houston. So there are projects out there to try and widen that corridor. We also are looking at a proposed 35 corridor. This is in a new location that goes from Spur 5 over there by U of H main campus. Years ago, we built a little stop out over there, and I was involved in that project, that we built a little stop out over there at Spur 5, and that's where the State Highway 35 corridor is going to take that job all the way to Alvin eventually, okay? But the first piece right now, we're taking it from Spur to 610, and we'll have direct connectors that will take the traffic to 610. And we're working with City of Pearland, and we're working with also City of Houston to try and get the next piece, the alignment and everything work out over there. So eventually, there will be a highway that go all the way down to 35 over there in Alvin. 45 South, that corridor, we have a lot of projects working on 45 South, the Gulf Freeway. I mean, there's ongoing projects, and we're going to take it all the way into Galveston. All those projects on 45 South, we're already south of Nassau Road 1, and a lot of those projects are going to finish up, and we're continuing heading south all the way down to Galveston, So, and the I-10 East is a main corridor that we are also looking at. We have a PEL, which is a preliminary engineering study that we're looking at right now, currently on I-10 on the east side, from downtown all the way out to 146, to the edge of our boundaries. That part of the freeway does not have a lot of work being done to it. And as everybody knows, there's a lot of freight traffic that's going that corridor, I-10 East to Beaumont and Liberty and all that. So we're looking at trying to see what we need to do in that corridor. And as you also know, there's no HOV-ing or anything in that corridor currently. So we're taking a good look to see if some of those managed lane type is needed in that corridor. So next slide, please, or next two slides. Actually, if you keep going to the next two more slides, and I'll go through some of the Texas Clearlink projects. As you all know, the Clearlink incentive is something that Governor Abbott has pushed through to try and ease the congestion in the Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin area. So some of those projects that I have mentioned earlier is actually on part of the Clearlink projects, but on the slides that you can see right now are some of the future upcoming. Can you go back to that slide with the purple list of projects? Yeah, that one. These are some of the future Clearlink projects that we're looking at. The first one, as you can see on there, is the piece over there at I-10 at Wycoke Bayou. That segment of I-10 kind of floods every time we have a big hurricane and all that. So we're trying to This project is to raise that part of the freeway to bring it out of the floodplain so that I-10 in that area will not be flooded next time whenever we get a freeway. And it's also tied into the 45 NHHIP project. The second project on the list is 45 on the north side that ties to segment 2 of the NHHIP that that we're looking at progressing. It needs to be built with the segment 2 of the 45 projects, but it's not included in the original plan of the project. The third project on the list that a lot of you may be interested is I-10 East at San Jacinto River. That is the one that the barge kind of hit that roadway twice, hit that bridge column twice, and we have to close half of our freeway while we did the repair of the columns on that bridge. So what this new project is going to do is we're going to build a much higher and longer bridge to kind of either span the channel or put it right at the channel and build the columns to be sturdy enough that you will take some of the hit of the barge that was that is in the area over there, because as you know, I-10 East, that's the big corridor that goes to Beaumont, and if it's shut down, we're not going to have any movement, and the detour for the I-10 East is a huge detour. We have to take them in order to get through that area. So the next couple of slides, please. This one really just talk about some of our bigger projects, and the 299, the State Highway 99 on the east side, 288 toll road. I already went through some of them. So I just want to take this opportunity also to introduce to you Maria Aponte. She is our new area engineer, and she's on the line also. Maria Aponte, she is our new area engineer in Brazoria County. She come to us, she was the assistant area engineer in Southeast Harris area office. And she has been working in that office for about, 15 years or longer than that. And
over 14.
14, okay, so she's on the line now. Maria, you want to say something?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I am very grateful to be the new area engineer in Brazoria, and I am looking forward to continue working with all of you, our stakeholders, and that relationship that you have built with TxDOT to continue. Please know that our office phone number is 979-864-8500, and please feel free to reach out to us, and we're here to help.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think I'm going to end here. I think I went pretty long on this program. I think a lot of you also know Mike McGuire. He's our Brazoria maintenance supervisor down there. He has been there probably when I was the area engineer down there. So he has been there quite some time. So I just want to take this opportunity and see if anybody have any questions and kind of finish up the talk right now.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Eliza? I have one question regarding the I-45 North realignment. I know we've talked a lot about that, but maybe just give everybody an update.
Yeah, okay. If you flipped over to a couple of slides at the end, Cheryl, if you keep going on the slides. I do have an update on the 45. Currently, what we're working on is we're trying to finish the environmental, the FEIS of the project. And what we're doing is we're trying to dot our T's and I's and all that. and we're looking at probably either the end of this month or early in October that we'll post the FEIS. And that is kind of like the first step, the first major step for us to get the RAW, which is the environmental, the record of decision for the environmental process. And once we get the environmental process, we would be able to go out there and completely start purchasing all the right-of-way for the project. We are already working on the procurement part of the project to get to try and get a contractor or a designer, a developer, to build this project. So that process is ongoing, and we'll continue to work on that process. But the FEIS is really the key for us to be able to continue, move forward, and do a lot of the things that we're doing. So we're also working, doing a lot of meetings with, for example, like a housing group to talk about displacement, relocation, purchasing the parcel and all that, those kind of information with the people that's involved. We're also talking a lot with Central Houston to try to incorporate what they want to be included in the project for the downtown piece. We're also talking with Metro, and City of Houston to try and look at incorporating, and as you all know, the mayor has a letter requesting us to look into a lot of those items. So we're working on all of that. So everything's ongoing. We're really busy, and it's still continuing to progress. The schedule really has not changed that much, but we just need this FEIS to be done. Mm-hmm. Hope that answered your question.
Any other questions? Okay, I think that's it, Eliza. Thank you so much for your time. It's kind of scary to me to think there's going to be more people here in 25 years, but definitely appreciate the insight and your expertise in keeping us mobile. So thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you very much.
The speaker's tape for you. I'm going to give it to your husband, so make sure that you get it when he gets home.
That's good. I might.
So I think that's it. Carol has one more thing that she would like to do, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
I know it's late and some of you probably need to go, but if you can just stay here for just a moment, we have some ambassadors that we want to recognize.